Battlefield Hardline has never been the most popular of the Battlefield series. In fact, many considered this game to be the definitive worst game of the series when it originally released in 2015. Now, I played this game quite a bit when it first came out and was part of the small minority that actually really liked the game. So with Battlefield 2042 on the horizon, I figured there'd be no better time to revisit the divisive Battlefield Hardline in 2021, see what the player base is looking like and how the game has held up over the years. Now keep in mind, I did play this game on PC, so the player base is probably far lower than on consoles, but on PC, the official servers are pretty much completely dead, and the only way you're going to find a game is through community servers. To do this, you need to search through the community servers in the battle log and search all regions for servers. NA servers are completely dead for the most part as well. The highest one I found had like 6 players, and really the only server that's still populated and full of players is this one German server that's running 24/7. It cycles through Conquest and Bank Heist and multiple maps, mostly derailed in downtown. Now obviously a huge downside of playing on a German server when you don't live in Germany is the ping. So if you're thinking of playing multiplayer on PC for this game, you have to be okay with playing in one server with high ping and limited maps and game modes. I'm not exactly sure what the game is looking like on consoles. I'd imagine it still has a solid amount of players, but don't quote me on that. Player base aside though, Battlefield Hardline is certainly a unique multiplayer experience, especially when it comes to the Battlefield series. It obviously embraces the whole cops versus robbers thing you used to play on the playground with your friends. There's cars, motorcycles, police cruisers, helicopters, and armored vehicles. It's a very different multiplayer experience than what you may be used to in the Battlefield series. The cars are pretty fun to use, and they can be really strong if you know how to use them properly. There's of course the class system like every Battlefield game, although it's set up a little differently in Hardline. There's some weapons that are unique to only the cops and robbers, and each class has specific weapon types, while some weapons are universal in all classes. For example, there's a sniper you can use in the operator class or an AR in the enforcer class. Operator is the medic class that has med kits and defibrillators to revive teammates. Mechanic is the engineer that can repair and destroy vehicles with ease. The enforcer is basically the support class. You get ammo restocks and the riot shield, which is an extremely stupid gadget in my opinion. I can't tell you how many people are running around with these stupid shields on their backs like turtles. It's really overpowered in my opinion and basically makes enemies invincible to damage from behind, and they can use assault rifles with this shield on their back as well. And then finally there's the professional class, which is like the scout or recon class, which is essentially just your sniper class. Snipers felt a bit on the weaker side to me in this game. There were multiple times where I got 2 or even 3 hit markers on enemies, but there's obviously some stronger ones as well. It depends on what sniper you use. Hardline also uses a currency system in which you gain by pretty much just playing the game, and you use it to purchase pretty much everything. Weapons, attachments, camos are all bought with the money you earn. And like I mentioned, the active servers on PC are usually Conquest and Bank Heist. Conquest is of course the classic Battlefield mode where you need to capture and hold flags in a large map, and Bank Heist is a little more close quarters combat and you need to steal money and take it back to your vault while also defending your money and stealing the enemy teams. It's a fun mode and it's extremely chaotic with 64 players all packed into a relatively small map with the same objective. It's a mode completely unique and fitting for Hardline's cops and robbers theme. The gunplay in Hardline to me feels very generic. A lot of the guns are just laser beams, they hardly have any recoil at all and are pretty easy to control for the most part. And the time to kill is also really fast, so you can die within a split second without even getting a chance to react or realize where you're being shot from, which can be really frustrating if you're not paying attention. Pretty much every gun in the game melts, so in terms of balancing, it's not too bad since a lot of the guns are pretty strong. I'd say the most common loadouts I saw though were the M4s or the FAL/riot shield combination. And Hardline of course takes place in a modern day setting. The maps are very well detailed, they have those destructible environments Battlefield is so well known for, and the setting really embraces the cops versus robbers theme, with banks and skyscrapers and all that cop action movie stuff. There's some really good variety in the maps, and most of them are very open with lots of long sight lines. Everything is just chaotic, all-out warfare, and the maps are a big contributing factor to that. I like how a lot of them have multiple levels and layers to them, especially downtown with the elevators and everything. It makes the game feel more dynamic and interesting because players can literally be anywhere. Something I never played when the game first came out and was actually unexpectedly good was the campaign. It's a campaign split into about 11 20 to 30 minute episodes following a former cop named Nick Mendoza. Nick is in jail in the prologue of the game, and the story takes you back to 3 years to when Nick was a young detective trying to stop a drug war in Miami and how he ended up in jail. There's intrigue, betrayal, and crazy over-the-top action you would come to expect from a Battlefield campaign, and the story is surprisingly pretty alright. Nick actually has quite a bit of character growth and development, and I actually found myself pretty invested in the story by the last few episodes. It has a lot of cliches and predictable moments, but it was a pretty enjoyable story and has decent length to it. It's about 4 to 5 hours long, which for a Battlefield campaign is pretty solid. It does have a tedious mission structure with lots of stealth sections where you can take down enemies, arrest them, or use tasers and other gadgets to incapacitate them, or you could always just shoot them in the head with a suppressed weapon. Although to me the hitboxes in the campaign seemed really broken. There were multiple times where I had clear headshots that weren't registering, so the hitboxes are a bit iffy. But the campaign also has a lot of gadgets and customizations you can make to your loadout to make it more progressive and fun. There's also a few chase and driving sequences which were fun, but ultimately not anything too special. But overall, Hardline has a really solid campaign. I'd say I enjoyed it more than the war stories from Battlefield 5 and 1. It's all just one nice narrative following a central protagonist with a cast of colorful side characters. Again, it's obviously not perfect, but I had fun with it. Now, it's probably not worth getting the game only for the campaign, but I guess that depends on the price and your own opinion. And for a 6-year-old game, the graphics of Hardline still hold up pretty well. It's nowhere near the quality of some of the more recent entries like BF1 or BF5 in terms of graphics, but I'd say it still holds up well, and the game is really easy to run on PC. I was getting some great performance, and there's a decent amount of graphics settings too. Battlefield Hardline did a lot of things right, but also a lot wrong, and whether or not the game is still worth it in 2021 is completely circumstantial. I enjoyed the campaign, and if you want to try that out, I say why not go for it. But if you're looking to get the game on PC and want to play some multiplayer, I personally wouldn't recommend it. Like I said earlier, the official servers are dead, and unless you're okay with playing on a German community server, then it probably isn't still worth it. Then again, if you find the game for a really cheap price, or if you already have EA Play and can play the game for free, then sure, why not try it out for yourself? And if you're looking to try to play the game on console, I'd look into what the player base is looking like before going out and buying it. But that about concludes my thoughts on Battlefield Hardline. If you enjoyed this video, I've made videos just like this for Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 1 as well. The links for those are in the description, and feel free to let me know down in the comments which Battlefield game you'd want me to revisit next. I was thinking Battlefield 4. Consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this in the future. We just hit 60K recently, so thank you so much for that, everyone. It really means a lot to me. And other than that, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.